Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040, and today I am here to discuss with all of you about one of the most polarizing decisions ever made for the DCEU, and that was the casting of Jared Leto as the Joker. And my question of the day to all of you is: was Jared Leto's Joker really that bad, or was he a victim of terrible writing? So, when Jared Leto was announced that he was going to be cast as the Joker in the DCEU for 2016's Suicide Squad movie, this was met with a lot of harsh criticism and very loud vocal backlash from fans. When I first saw a picture of Jared Leto as the Joker, my reaction was, oh God, this looks terrible. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Jared Leto. He is a fantastic actor and he's done some really good stuff throughout his career. And, anyone at the time who was going to be cast as the Joker had to follow the late great Heath Ledger's game changing performance as the Joker in The Dark Knight, which for me will go down as one of the greatest film performances of all time. And, anybody who was going to try and follow that had a massive challenge on their hands and some pretty big shoes to fill. Now, I can appreciate and respect that the DCEU didn't want to try and duplicate Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker, which I totally understand because, quite frankly, let's be real, everyone, I don't think anybody is going to match that legendary performance. For me, the closest person to capturing that mad, chaotic approach of the Joker is probably Joaquin Phoenix in his Joker 2019 portrayal, which I thought was amazing and very close to replicating and almost topping Heath Ledger's performance. Now, the Suicide Squad movie from 2016, I've watched it quite a number of times. I've gone back and revisited it recently. And, if you listen to my movie review with Rex the Boss 11, you know, it really wasn't that bad as I remembered. Obviously, it has a very special place for me because of where I saw it, because I didn't actually watch it in the UK, I watched it in another country. But I went back and rewatched Jared Leto's Joker scenes. Bear in mind, his screen time was completely condensed down because, from my understanding, Jared Leto said that him and Margot Robbie shot over 2 hours worth of scenes, enough for probably two movies. And I was led to believe that Jared Leto's Joker was going to have a big part in the movie. And from what I've read, it looked like he was going to be probably the main villain, and it was going to be something similar to what they did in Assault on Arkham, where you had Suicide Squad versus Batman versus Amanda Waller versus the Joker with Harley Quinn somewhere in the middle. That was what I was led to believe. But, you know, as I said earlier, Jared Leto is a fantastic actor and he did the best he could with what he had to work with. But watching his performance as the Joker was very painful to watch and at times felt really forced through no fault of his. He came across as more of a gangster wannabe, and I'm not talking about Jack Nicholson's take on the Joker in Batman '89, where he was a member of the mob and was a gangster slash hitman for hire and the right hand man of a crime boss. I have always loved that version of the Joker's origin. For me, that is my all time favourite because I have always liked the idea of the Joker already being an evil person long before he fell into the vat of chemicals that would change him forever. And he was a guy who just more or less embraced his madness. And I love that. I really do. And the idea that Batman was indirectly responsible for helping to create his greatest enemy just makes it even more better. And I've never liked the idea of the Joker being this sympathetic figure, because how can someone who was supposed to be Batman's greatest enemy be someone you feel sorry for? Because you're not really meant to feel sorry for the Joker. Now, Jared Leto's Joker was very silly. The laugh sounded like he was in pain. And it's a shame, really, because underneath all of that silliness beats the heart of a great actor in Jared Leto. And I truly believe with a good script, the right director, and a great story to get your teeth into, I truly believe that Jared Leto would have gone on to become probably one of the greatest Jokers of all time. Because I really feel that he gets a lot of unnecessary hate because, you know, because of all the backstage politics, bad decisions being made, he seems to always be the one that gets it in the neck, which is not fair, really, because he's not the director. He's an actor. He's merely being told what to do by the director and what direction to go into, so to speak. So, fast forward to Zack Snyder's Justice League movie in 2021. Jared Leto would play the Joker once again, but this time in a much shorter scene, albeit in a cameo role. And I have to say, that short scene that Jared Leto had with Ben Affleck's Batman completely redeemed him in so many ways. Yes, it was short. Could we have got more? Probably. But what we did get was excellent. Jared Leto's Joker in Zack Snyder's Justice League felt much more Joker than the Joker we got in 2016's Suicide Squad movie. He was dark, he was menacing, he was frightening, evil, and just an all round piece of crap. And especially the moments where he kept taunting Batman and saying, "So why did you send a boy to do a man's job? Hmm?" And addressing Batman as Bruce Wayne. Classic Joker stuff. Batman more or less begging his old enemy, "I need your help if we've got any chance of surviving this post apocalyptic world that Superman and Darkseid have both created." And Jared Leto's Joker was just a thrill to watch. Even though it was very short, it proved to me, and I'm sure some of you may agree with this, some of you may not. That's why we're having this discussion. I want to hear everyone's opinions. This said to me that Jared Leto's Joker was nothing more than a victim of poor decisions and bad writing. Because look at it, it proved it. Okay, Zack Snyder probably may not be the greatest storyteller in the world. He's probably more better at visuals than storytelling. But what he did put together for Jared Leto was 10 times better than what we got before. And it really makes you wonder, could things have been different if we had a different director? Because, to be fair, Jared Leto's Joker, we haven't really seen that much of him. We didn't really get a chance to spend more time with his Joker. He was in 2016's Suicide Squad, and he was in 2021's Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, two appearances in the DCEU, not really much to go with. Now, I did read somewhere that David Ayer has his cut of 2016 Suicide Squad, and he said that the Joker we were supposed to get was completely different to the one we got. No comedy, no lovesick puppy pining for Harley Quinn. We were supposed to get the animalistic, brutal monster of the Joker, but we didn't get that. Now, whether or not we are going to see that cut of the movie, never say never. We all thought we would never see Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League, but we did. So, could we see David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad? Probably not, especially with James Gunn going full steam ahead with his DC Cinematic Universe. We may not, but it would be nice just to see David Ayer's cut released on a streaming platform, maybe something like HBO Max, perhaps, so everyone could see it and finally see what we were supposed to get. But I think before we wrap this up, I think Jared Leto was just more a case of a victim of bad writing and booking, to use the wrestling analogy, because he was a really good actor. He still is. Did he look the part of the Joker? Maybe not so much in Suicide Squad, but he definitely did in Zack Snyder's Justice League. The long dark green hair, the messed up face, and his whole attitude was just classic Joker, which really we should have got this version from the very beginning. But what's done is done. We can't change the past, but it's always nice to think about what could have been. So, it's sad. I thought Jared Leto had the potential, he had the skills, he had the tools to be a great Joker, but he was just a victim of bad writing. That's just my opinion. So, anyway, that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What do you guys think? Do you think Jared Leto's Joker was really that bad? Or do you think he was a victim of just poor writing and bad decisions? Do you think that given the right director and a good script and a great story, do you think Jared Leto could have gone on to become a great Joker? Do you think we should have seen more of him? And which was your favourite performance from Jared Leto? Was it Suicide Squad or Zack Snyder's Justice League? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time. So until then, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.